Near Protocol is going through a healthy wave 4 correction, and we're going to use Elliott wave theory to really help us pinpoint where the market is likely going to reverse to make new highs. But we're also going to be aware of the danger zone price. There's a particular price point that Near Protocol should not go below, but if it does, it's going to be an absolute disaster in terms of price action. So if you like today's video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and let me know what coins you want me to look at next to get a real strong feel of the technical position. With that said, let's dive straight in. All markets are driven by crowd psychology, buying and selling behavior. And I found Elliott wave theory is one of the best ways of reading that buying selling behavior. And the key thing you want to be aware of, markets typically move in a 5-wave pattern followed by a typical 3-wave correction. This is the most common buying and selling behavior. So when we're looking at any market, we always want to ask ourselves the question, at what point of the buying and selling psychology is Near Protocol? Now looking at this, it looks like we're coming towards the end of a potential wave 4. And we're going to go into pinpoint accuracy over here. And after a wave 4, typically comes a wave 5. So we can have some confidence that we're probably going to get at least one more big move to the upside before we see some type of bigger degree correction, which after would follow a further move to the upside. And we want to be aware of that. So now let's just clean this chart up. And I want to really just do a bit of detailed TA. So the first thing we want to be aware of is what should the market not do if the trend is to continue up? Well, there's a rule in Elliott wave theory that says wave 4s should not go into the range of wave 1. Now, what does that mean? So if we just draw a horizontal line over here, I'm going to just draw it over here. And what we're saying is the price of wave 4 should not come into the range of wave 1. So we want to be really, really aware of that. And if it does, that's bad news because it means we're not making an impulsive trend. It is unlikely to occur. And if it does, we want to be aware of that. So I would highly recommend that you set a price alert. So if Near Protocol does go below, we're talking about the closing range is around $4, $4.35. If it does go below there, that's a bad sign. That's called a wave overlap. And what that would indicate is that this is not a wave 3 and this is some type of correction. And then we're going to see a big move to the downside. Now that's unlikely to occur, but we want to be aware of that. So now let's look at the typical length of a wave 4. Now wave 4s typically are between 38.2 to 62% retracement. Now what does that mean? So we're gonna do this. We're gonna take the length of this wave 3 and we're gonna do a retracement of 38.2, 50, and 62%. And we get a real feel for where are we in this buying and selling psychology of a profit-taking wave of a wave 4. So let's just do this over here. So we can see we've got the 3 ratios. This is the typical minimum. We can see we're below the 38.2 and we're at the 50%. And we can also see the 62% is above the wave 1. So this is still in the healthy range of a profit-taking wave. Next, what we're going to do is time cycles. There's a typical amount of time that it takes for a typical wave 4 to complete. So let's just do this retracement. I'll do it relatively fast. We're going to measure how long did wave 3 take. And we can see that the price is in that range. So the way we say this is Near Protocol is in a position to complete a wave 4 correction. What should follow a wave 4 correction? Well, it should be a wave 5. That's what we want to anticipate and be really, really aware of. But we don't want to jump the gun. There's a few key things you can really help indicate if we're at that reversal. And then once we do that, we're going to then do some price projections in terms of where is the typical or likely next wave 5 high. So the first pattern reversal signal is something called a wave overlap. That's an early signal that the correction has completed. So we've got this wave swing low down here, and we've got this swing low down here. Now, if Near Protocol comes back into this range over here, that'll be an early signal that this wave 4 is complete. Now, it's an early signal, but not a confirmation. What would be a stronger confirmation? Well, it's the price going above the obvious swing high, and that's this high over here. We're talking about $7.73 thereabouts. So if Near Protocol goes above this point over here, we can be pretty confident that this wave 4 correction is over and that we should anticipate a wave 5. And now, last but not least, what we're going to do is because we're looking like we're at or near the completion of this wave 4 low, but it has not been confirmed yet. I also tend to put a question mark here just so we are really clear that this particular low. We're still waiting for a confirmation. Last, what we're going to do is we're going to do some wave 5 projections. Now, we're going to just need to kind of guess, if the wave 4 was complete, where would wave 5 be? And you just tweak it once we get the pattern reversal signal. Now, before I go into that, I want to just let you know, if you want to learn how to do technical analysis like this using Elliott wave theory, I've now got a free masterclass on pattern, price, time, and momentum, and just how to trade and build a trading business. It's absolutely free. It's in the description link below. You can check it out. I've put in over 100 hours developing this, so you should get a lot of value from it. But with that said, let's now use time, price, and pattern position to do wave 5 projections. So let's just clean this chart up. We're going to keep the pink box. We're just going to assume that the wave 4 is complete, even though we know it's not. And the key 2 ratios we want, something called an external retracement, is the relationship between a wave 4 and a wave 5. And this is really reliable. In other words, we're going to measure how deep was the wave 4, and we're going to project in advance wave 5, end of wave 5 price zones. And then the next one is we're going to measure wave 1 to wave 3, projected from wave 4. And if we get a cluster in this zone, we can be pretty confident that that's going to be a significant resistance zone. So the first one is external retracement. So we're going to measure this wave 4. And again, we want to wait for a confirmation. But as I'm doing this, just to kind of give you a ballpark feel, so it just gives you an indicative price zone of where near protocol is likely going to get to as a minimum. So now we've got some external retracement targets, which is $9.70 to around $10.79. And the next one we're going to do is we're going to measure that wave 1 to wave 3, project it from the wave 4 low. There's 3 key ratios. This one's less relevant because it's already been exceeded. It's the 62% and the 100%. So we've got, again, around the $10.50, and an overextended typical maximum wave 5 will be this zone up here, which is around $13.59. So it's around a 2-3x from where near protocol is right now. How long should that take? Well, we can do some basic time projections looking at the rhythm. And one of the easiest to do is looking at the wave 1 high to the wave 3 high. So we just measure how long did that take and then project forward that same amount of time. So we can get a nice, it's called a high to high to high time ratio. So we go high to high to high, and we want the 100%. So this will give us a date in advance to go, we want to be aware of this. Again, this is easier to do once we've got confirmation that the wave 4 is complete. And then the next one is going to be the low to high. This is the typical maximum time it takes. So let's just take this with a pinch of salt that the wave 4 is complete. So now what we have are these time and price zones. I like to draw a nice pink box so we get a nice indicative feel of what we should anticipate. So as near protocol is at or near completion of a wave 4, we can start to prepare for the next move up. Minimum is this zone that you should anticipate, and then typical maximum over here. Doesn't mean that the price can't go higher. Absolutely it can. With crypto, wave 5 tends to overextend, so be prepared for that. And there are some other price ratios, but this is the most common buying and selling behavior. So if you like today's content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let me know what coins you want me to look at next to get a real feel of the technical position. Is it in a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Are we in a correction? Are we in an impulsive move? And what are the criteria that's going to indicate that we've got the reversal? Now, with that said, I'll see you on my next video.